Hey, so here's a little video kind of going over everything that I did. Here's your original, it was the tea light picture mesh. I just opened up the Maya file. So when I look here and I look at X-ray, I can see at the bottom here, I couldn't quite tell what was going on. You've got two edge loops here, but I wasn't entirely sure. So I went into my regular shaded mode and I went into edge mode, and then I double clicked along. And so then what I would do is move this and see what was actually being moved. So I could see, all right, that goes down. I can see from the outside, if I grab this edge loop, I can bring that down or up, depending upon what you want the shape of your picture to look like. So then I went back inside and I selected that edge loop. So this was the one I first grabbed, so the one right above it. And then I can see that's not something that's on the bottom. So that's your inside edge loop. So I raised that up a little bit just to help with visually for me to see a difference. And I know it's kind of hard to tell in this screen. But again, you can always check. So double click that one. Oh, that one's actually your bottom. Good thing I double checked. So we can move this one up a little bit. Okay. And now again, just make sure I don't see it. So I didn't do an extrude. What I did was to try to create a base, because Mudbox is seeing that you have multiple edges that are close together and it thinks they should be merged. So maybe I'll just even grab the edge that's right above it and move it up a little bit just to give it some space. All right, so now I've got my main one. All I did was bridge. So I double clicked to select the whole edge loop and then I bridged. But as you can see, by doing all of it at once, it gave me one face. And Mudbox isn't gonna like that because it thinks we've got all these edges that just end. So that's when I use the multi-cut. So Mesh Tools, multi-cut. Now with this, you click on a vertex. Let me make sure I'm seeing it. And then you go across to a vertex over here. And hit enter to set it. Now we want to make sure that's actually where I want. So I'm going to undo that and just zoom out a little bit so we can see it. There we go. So, sorry, my computer is acting a little strange. We moved to yesterday, and so our internet is okay, and I mean, Maya's not using the internet, but it seems everything's a little off. Okay, so you just go across and then hit enter. I grab the next one. You want to make sure it looks like a vertex and hit enter, and you'll see there's a dot here, and that's what we want so that we know it's overlapping. So I just did this all the way around. Takes a second, but not a difficult task. All right, so now we have this set. Now the main thing that Mudbox isn't gonna like is that we have so many edges going to a vertex, but that's okay. It has to do with it being a cylinder, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. So now I just would double check with your picture, the handle. So if I go into X-ray and zoom in, this looks good. You've got a nice opening there, and you've got a nice opening here. So that looks good to me. So then just lastly, I went into object mode, and then I did an automatic UV unwrap. So UV automatic, I just checked my editor to make sure, looks good. So then object mode, I did, just to be safe, a delete by type history. This just removes any information from the object that's not necessary. Any little tweaks that maybe we made and undid, Maya will then forget it. And then I just did an export, not an import. Export selection, we did the FBX, picture, then I'll open up Mudbox just to double check. Now you should really be using the same version of Mudbox in Maya, so please ignore that this is 2017 and I was using 2018. I still just need to get 2018 to work on my computer for Mudbox, but import, picture. Oh, so we do have an error here. So this is the high valence vertex that I was talking about. So let's see where it thinks our issue is. Keep this mesh. By the handle. These are the bottom two vertices. That's the high valence. So maybe I didn't delete something in the handle. So I would actually grab these two faces, make sure, yeah, they're inside, and delete them. That's what I was looking for before, but I didn't see them. So now you don't have these faces blocking your picture, and now we should be okay. Just to make sure, I'm going to do a new automatic UV and check. Still looks good. Sometimes Maya gets funny, but actually I'm not going to do it. We can test it, and if it does come up with an error, then we'll know. Export selection. Yep, so now we only have that one error. Keep this mesh, and you are good to go. So I hope this helps, and let me know how it goes.